searching. I'm looking for someone to give about me. I'm looking, I'm searching. I'm looking, I'm searching. I'm looking for someone to give about you. I'm looking, I'm searching. I'm looking, I'm searching. I'm looking for someone to give about me. I'm looking, I'm searching. I'm looking, I'm searching. I'm looking for someone to give about you.
It's from the love that's in me. I love the love. I am so grateful for the enemy, but yet they still attack me with the envy. They're trying to clog my drain, leave me empty. They say I'm honored every week. I say humbled and grateful. Not to quit weak. Let the church speak. I'm on the wall, but they just...
Peace, peace, family. Happy Saturday. Grand Rising. I pray everybody is well, healthy, and whole, or getting there on some level. It's a beautiful day in Chicago. Beautiful day. I'm empowered and I'm grateful. Man, great morning to you too, Queen Angel. We love you so much. This show was created. It was created by none other than our brother, Brian Gorman. He's a visionary, the leader behind this project. This is a project. And it was his vision to have a show where we talked about those who are contributing to our community greatly. It was his vision to have a regular show on a Saturday specifically. He was very measured in choosing Saturday because Saturday is the day that a lot of people are off work from that busy work week, and you get to get out in the community and help the community. So it was created on Saturday early in the morning. So when we leave here, we can go out in the community and support community efforts, events, engagements, activities. So this was all designed this way. Special shout out to those who did this work, those ancestors who some names we don't even know, but they labored. They labored blood, sweat, and tears. They put in work so that we can come in studios like these, built by us, created by us, and for us to do this. We're so grateful on this morning. Special shout out to my ancestor, my personal ancestor, my father, the late Reverend Dr. Kwame John Porter, recent ancestor who was the first SCLC chapter president for Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. SCLC is Southern Christian Leadership Conference. And my father ran for alderman in Inglewood on the south side of Chicago. My father would then go and introduce Dr. King to Reverend Jackson. Reverend Jackson would create the National Rainbow Push Coalition. My father was one of the founders of that great organization, Operation Push. And so I'm grateful to have come from parents that understood it. They got it. They were about community and consciousness and civic and duty and responsibility, accountability for our community and our family. We want to say thank you to those who are tuning in, those who have been previous guests before, those who would like to be guests. Tap in with us. We love to have you. We love for you to come on our platform, the Chicago Community Activism Podcast, and talk about what you're doing so we can get others to support you as well. Without further ado, thank you all for tuning in on Instagram too. I want to say a special shout out to those who are in this work, doing brave things, speaking up about injustices, things that are happening all the time, and we oftentimes don't talk about. My guest is not just a guest. She's a big sister to me. She's a friend. We've known each other basically all of our lives, and our families have been connected through our church for so long.
Yes.
So long. And for us to recommit and reunite like this is so beautiful. I'm so excited. Want you all, please welcome author, speaker, just a great woman of Christ, of God, the Queen Edwina Leak Speed.
Oh my goodness, thank you. Thank you, Sista Afrika.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, such a beautiful introduction. And I'm so glad that God brought us together. We used to be children together.
Yes.
Our parents were ministers at the same church.
Yes.
And we recently reconnected, like maybe a year ago at Operation Push.
Correct.
And so I feel like we really share DNA because we go back so far. And,
absolutely.
And our parents went to Garrett Theological Seminary in Evanston and studied, and they bought the word.
That's
and
right.
How excited I believe that they are where they are
Oh
looking
my Lord,
at their
you already
children
know.
Here
Your
working.
mom always had a snack for me in her purse.
Oh my goodness. So they changed the world, and now here we sit
That's right.
descendants of them sitting on their shoulders.
That's right.
Doing our part to
That's
change the
right.
world in these moments right now today.
Yeah. Speaking of changing the world, for those who don't know, give us some background. Where'd you grow up at? What schools did you attend? Those kind of things.
I'm a proud Inglewoodian.
Come on, Inglewood.
Inglewood. Yes, I attended St. Rayfield Grammar School, the Immaculata High School, and I earned my bachelor's degree in psychology at Roosevelt University.
Come on, Roosevelt.
I also had the benefit or the blessing of being married to a pediatrician, Dr. Curtis Speed, who our company is named after, Curtis L. Speed, MD Education Company. And from that journey in my life, I had the opportunity to work with children in our medical practice and to understand them and to see how they think and how they behave. And it actually helped me build in pages into the book from studying those children on how to relate.
Who are the people that mentored you? If you could recall a few.
Recall a few. Martin Luther King. Martin Luther King teaching us, opening the door.
Yeah.
Because we would never be able to do what we have done. My mother, I went to school kicking and screaming because I wanted to go to school in the neighborhood. But she said, no, you won't be a child of mine, and never went past 63rd Street. So
that's right.
She put me in a school way on the north side of Chicago. I had the opportunity to meet so many people of other ethnicities and not be afraid to travel the world. And although I've been concentrating and focusing here in Chicago on my book, we are Chicago Public School vendors.
Oh yes,
our church,
nice.
Our church has adopted this program. My church is OFC Out Front for Christ Ministries. We're in Dalton, Illinois, and we've used this book to teach the children in our church, as well as use the book as a fundraiser in our church. So I've been focusing here. But unfortunately, God took my husband home. And so now I have more opportunity to travel the world. And that's where I'd like to go next. So
I love it.
I'm available. If anyone is in California, Texas, wherever you are, we do parent workshops. And please give me a call. Or you can, we're going to get to that. Oh, we're going to get to that. I'm sorry.
I wanted to make sure we got into, that's so important that you said that, because people are going to want to know how to get in touch as we get into this book.
Okay.
The name of the book. Talk about that.
The name of the book. No, stop. Don't touch my danger zone. And
why is that the name of this book? Of all the titles.
It's the name of the book because if I would have had this information when someone was molesting me, and I'm gonna use that word, I hope it doesn't, I can't offend you. The problem is that people aren't talking about this in the way that it should be said. So I'm just gonna be straightforward. And had I have known this information when a person was assaulting me, then I could have protected myself of a lifetime of flashbacks and other emotions that I really didn't want to feel, shouldn't have had to feel. But I didn't have this information in my head, in my mouth. Although my parents, as you know, were educated people. If they talk to me, then I don't remember. But who thinks that this would happen to their child in the next room? Or you're downstairs and they're upstairs and someone is molesting them. Nobody really, you don't want to think about that, you know? And so when I needed help, when I needed to know what to do, I didn't know. And so I was at a point in my life where God set me down and I lost my speech. And my brother called me and he said, well, sister, you can't write. You can't talk. So write. That was the way I earned my degree at Roosevelt University. I wrote a paper and it won out of 200 people.
Wow.
And so so I sat at my computer in the middle of the night and I said, okay, God, well, what do I talk about? What do I write about? And then boom, this ugly flashback of what happened to me on that day. And I said, okay. And so now again, with a degree, I said, well, what could I tell, what could I do to help other children
Yeah.
not go through
Yeah.
what I went through. If I would have known what to say, how to yell for help,
Come on.
then I could have been protected. And even when we talk about yelling for help, parents, you got to choose your words carefully when you teach your children, because if you tell them to just say stop, they could be just playing around.
Right.
But if you are a parent and you teach your child with this book, and you're at a party, we just had the 4th of July, all kind of people are coming around.
Right.
If you hear your child go stop, again, they could be playing, but if you hear them go stop, don't touch my danger zone, that's the word from your child to you.
That's right.
That something inappropriate is going on.
So what you're saying is you're teaching when this is happening, and it has happened in the family setting, in the same house. Parents are in another room, be it entertaining, watching TV, playing cards, or doing things, and it can be happening. That you're teaching through the book that the child should say, "Stop! Don't touch my danger zone."
Exactly.
And that's a communication with the child and the parent that they've already had.
Exactly. And so this book is not a one-time book, because you can have a conversation with your child and say, okay, Kathy, if this happens, this is what you do. So have that conversation.
Right.
But I created the book because I need them to know this like they know their name.
Come on.
So when we're going through the book, when we're talking about what's a good secret is there's a surprise party. What's a bad secret? A bad secret is somebody touched me and it made me feel like I want to cry.
What is a good secret? What's a bad secret?
Right. Let's talk about that. And then,
what's the age?
The age is children ages 4 to 9.
Okay.
Right. And then for the parents, because so many parents have been abused themselves, you don't know how to talk to your child. So this gives you an opportunity to sit down. Well, first, I need you to practice if you have been a victim, because if you start breaking down on the
that could be trauma for you.
Right. If you're re-traumatized, then you're not going to be able to communicate courage and strength to your child. Okay. But if you can, we get past that part. Then let's talk about, if you have a bad secret, who can you tell your bad secret to? Because if you don't want to direct your child to tell their bad secret to grandpa, and he's the predator, the person. He's the one that's doing it. So let's talk about the people in your family or who your friends,
that's good.
The principal, the teacher, the Sunday school teacher, the minister, who can you trust? And this is who you direct your child to, because a lot of times we don't feel comfortable talking to our parents, but we may feel comfortable talking to someone else. So now as the parent, you get to direct them, and then we get into building self-esteem. It is so important to build self-esteem in your children, so part A is my pretty head, and this is where you tell your child, I love your locks, I love this red on you, whatever the compliment them, and use powerful names. I did a workshop with a woman, and she said, oh, mi gordita, and gordita in Spanish is my little fat one. Well, who wants to be called that? Even if I am fat, please don't tell me that. Don't go right. Exactly. So let's build up, our children, my little princess, my prince, part B are my strong arms. You have strength. You have courage. You can stand up to an older child or an adult and say, no, because you have the courage. Part C are my feet that I use to run and play. But what else can you do with your feet?
You can kick.
You can kick. And, now as the author, I can't tell that because, I don't want my book to be banned, but, you can just talk to your children about what they can do with their feet, where they can kick another person.
That's right.
That will really bring them down.
Thank you so much, Angel. She said this work is so important and needed. Mentors are so important. I love the history of love, and I love you both. Thank you for sharing this. You can share it in real time also while you're watching it. Thank you, Angel. We love you so much. Please follow Angel, everybody. Angel Jones. Oh, she's my coach too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she's not a joke. She's amazing.
She is.
But you know what? This book you used recently, you were telling me, and talk about how that family was able to use the book.
The family. Okay, so the psychologist?
Yes.
All right. So I had a psychologist who was using a coloring book for the little girl. The little girl was 7 years old, and she had been raped by her mother's boyfriend. Jesus. But she shut down, which is a sign. I need you guys to know if your child is happy 1 minute playing, having a good time, and then the next minute they're shut down. That's a sign. Okay. So anyway, this little girl, she was shut down, and now the therapist is trying to identify a way to help her open up and discuss the trauma without being re-traumatized again. So she decided to use my book. And the sessions were broken up into like 6 sessions. So the first session, the little girl comes in. Part A is my pretty head, and the little girl is coloring. Then she comes back the next session. Now she's excited to color. Part B, my strong arms. And then the third session, oh, she's real excited. Where's the coloring book? Where's the coloring book? I want to color. And she colors part C, my feet I used to run and play. And then we get to the meat of the book, part D. And what is part D? Part D is the danger zone.
Danger zone.
Now, no part of your body is dangerous, but anyone trying to touch you in these areas of your body, if you can see it, these areas of your body could be stranger danger. And this is where you scream, you instruct your child to scream, no, stop, don't touch my danger zone.
And build that confidence in the child, because oftentimes when a child has been molested, raped, harmed, hurt, you know what I mean? It's the mind control.
Yes.
So I like what you're saying, because you're getting that child to take their power back.
That's right.
And to be strong.
Right. And to give them words.
That's
right.
right.
So then when Kathy comes in to color and she gets to the part about the danger zone, then now she's coloring. And this is where the therapist jumps in and says, okay, Kathy, has anyone ever touched you in your danger zone? And so Kathy is coloring. And for the first time since the rape, she says, yeah, my mama's boyfriend, but he's in jail now. And then she continued to color. So she was able to discuss that trauma in a way that didn't hurt her as bad, or at least that she would even talk about it.
She said it,
before
right.
She wouldn't. And so speaking of saying things, one thing that I don't do, I don't put the stop sign on their mouth, because I need them to talk. Okay. But as parents and grandparents and whoever is listening, as the adult, the instructor, you need to discuss with the child that if anyone asks you to put your mouth on certain areas of their body,
that's right,
then it's the same thing.
That's
this
right.
is when you
that's
scream
right.
and you shout, no, stop, don't touch my danger zone.
That's right.
And then I love the last part of the book. We have a Courageous Kid pledge. The Courageous Kid pledge is, I may be small, but inside I'm tall. Mm-hmm. This body I own, and you can't touch my danger zone. And when the kids do that, they love it, and that we're empowering them, and they know it, and they're going to remember it. And so if you can just, I said this on Ramonski Love Show, and I continue to ask.
Shout out Ramonski Love.
He's just wonderful.
Love him.
But if everybody can just imagine a world where, for those of you who were molested, just take that away. And then you have that real estate in your head to focus on school and going to college and creating businesses, and all the times that you spent being sad or depressed or angry or rejecting people. And, there's a list of effects that people go through, guilt, all kind of things that never leave you.
And suicide.
Absolutely. And suicide, for sure. So if we can take all of those things away, especially at a time like now where our educational system is being challenged,
that's right,
we have to do everything that we can to help our children. And so I'm asking you to come on this journey with me, to take a book. And even if you don't have any kids, just look at somebody. You can go through the mall and just see people with children. As I go out and I see all of the children, I'm looking at these kids. It's like, who knows and who doesn't know? Right. But please take this education seriously. It is. And I just hope that you will go online and purchase a book. Or if your child attends Chicago Public Schools, when they go back into school, you can ask your principal about it.
That's right.
And hopefully they can order it, or have us come out.
Because you are a CPS vendor.
Yes, I am. It took a minute to get back there. But
explain what that means, because for those who may not be in education. Okay. What does it mean to be a vendor? To be a Chicago Public School vendor means that we have the ability to come into your school and to present our program, protecting your children from predators. Or some schools just simply order the books for their
for their students. And so if the cost of the book is only $20, which is nothing compared to the education that they're receiving, but if the school chooses to order it, then there's no cost to the parent, because the school would absorb they will absorb the budget, and then through their budget, they will pay for it, and then they will give it out to the parents.
Let me ask you this. What do you say to that child, that young person, or the person that's not so young, and they're challenged? They're being molested, they're being verbally assaulted, attacked, physically, and both. And they're in a situation where this is their living space. They don't have anywhere else to go. What do you say to that person?
But they do. If they're going to school, then they can talk to their teacher. They
but
can
you know
talk
that
to
that
their
person
principal.
that's doing it has their mind. If you tell somebody, I'm going to kill you. If you tell somebody it's going to be bad, it's going to be worse, don't you say nothing. You know what I mean?
I know.
What do you tell that person? How do you?
Well, let me just say this.
Yeah.
This is why I do what I do, because I'm trying to get to the parent first. Because parents, if you take this book and this instruction, then there's a final page that says, I can tell my parent any secret and they will always love me. So we're doing it both ways. If we can get to the children before they find themselves standing in front of the predator, because the statistics are 1 out of every 4 girls, 1 out of every 6 boys will be in this situation before they're 18. So then, parent, if you can get to them first, then you can already tell them. Now, if someone tries to do this to you, this is what they're going to say. Exactly what you just said. You better not tell. If you tell, I'm gonna kill your parent. Or the child may be afraid to tell, because the child thinks, if you as the parent saying, if anybody touches you, I'll kill him. Well, guess what? That really is not the best thing to say, because the child has already been raped, their innocence is stolen, and now if the parent kills the predator, now they lost the parent too. They really don't have anybody to protect.
Or the child may feel like it's their fault. They blame themselves.
Exactly.
They internalize it like it's something that they did wrong.
Right. Absolutely.
When they were preyed on.
Exactly, because they're children. That you just don't know. So if we can get to the children before, but even if we can't get to them before, as you're saying, if it's the after, then you're coming to them, and then maybe in that conversation, parents get ready, because the child may say, well, Mom, I'm glad you brought it up, because guess what your boyfriend did, or guess what your sister did, because I can't be more clearer that women molest, girls molest, like boys molest. Let's be clear about that. This crime exceeds all income brackets, all ethnicities.
All financial backgrounds. I remember I had did a workshop after college, and a male in the circle, he expressed that his babysitter had been molesting him from the time he was like 5 and through high school. Then he ended up falling in love with the babysitter. And then the babysitter cut him off, because she got married. And he was so confused, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing. But then I saw that this is a normalcy. Babysitters sometimes have been the aggressor.
For sure. And also, let me just interject a quick story when it comes to ages. So I did a workshop in a school, and when I do these things, I never know who I'm talking to, right? So I leave after the workshop. I leave, and the predator came out of the classroom after me, and what he said, I know, scared me.
I can't.
I know, it scared me. And he was like, well, I've got a friend and he touches his child, and what should I do? What should I tell him? Well, we knew he was talking about himself, right? We both knew it, but he couldn't say it. However, that scared me so much that, luckily my husband was alive at the time, and I was like, oh my God, baby, this is what happened, and so he covered me, he protected me. And so I had that, but that scared me for such a long time that I really kind of stopped, right? Especially after he passed. It's like, oh my God, the predators are out there. But then the Holy Spirit talked to me, Africa.
Come on.
The Holy Spirit said, you weren't his type. He was looking for the 9-year-olds. was looking for the 8, 9-year-olds. You wasn't his type. Why are you afraid? You didn't need to be afraid of him, you know.
But it was just the whole eerie feeling of you knowing that he came up afterwards. He was speaking for himself, and maybe that was a cry for help for him to get help.
Yes. As so many people, you got to understand that when we talk about all of the people who have been assaulted, let's talk about those who are doing the assaulting.
Ooh-wee.
You know, and if you're a child and you're doing what has been done to you, this is how this crime just continues to ripple, you know, and magnify. So this is what I'm saying. If we could put the stop here, put the stop gap in it, no more, you know, then we'll have less predators. Because what do the predators grow up to be? You know, so many things, so many bullies,
things.
Yes, you know, or you never know of the mentalities that they have or the guilt. You know, if you were a child and you did this to someone else,
or if it had been done to them and they're just repeating.
Yes, exactly. So, so much work to be done.
Yeah.
And God gave me this message at a point in my life when I couldn't even talk.
What do you mean you couldn't talk?
I had a car accident and I hit my head and my speech. I suffered from debilitating migraines, and my speech became so mangled that I just stopped talking because it just sounded really bad. And so you know, again, this is when I was home and, you know, trying to figure out, well, God, is this it for me? My headaches were so excruciating. I really thought I was dying, but you know, again, I got quiet and I was like, okay, God, is this it? You know, I think I've done this, I've done that, and my finish is my work here finished. And God said, no, I got more for you to do. And I was like, well, what can I do when I can't even talk? And then that's when this book was born.
Come on,
God. In the silence in the middle of the night.
Look at that.
Yeah.
But you were also obedient. In your quiet time, you were able to hear from God.
Yes.
You were tapped in, yeah.
And even now, I have to tell you, this journey has been so amazing that when I first started doing this, it was like people didn't want to talk about it. You know, when I'm knocking on the doors of the school and the doors are just slamming.
I'm sorry, somebody said, where can they purchase the book?
Oh, please, yes. This is I'm gonna make this real simple.
Okay.
So my name is Edwina Leak. I'm a member of the Leak family. A.R. Leak was my grandfather. I'm so proud to be part of the legacy. Thank you. Leaks. So he was A.R. Leak. I'm A.W. Leak. You can go to awleak.com, LEAK, A.W. Leak. LEAK.com, or I got two famous last names, Dr. Curtis Speed. So Speed EDU, SPEED edu.org, SPEED edu.org. If you are interested in workshops at your school, please, you can call us at 708-975-3989, 708-975-3989. So I'm going to say this. My goal is to educate millions of children, millions. But I can't do it alone. I need your help. Whoever is listening, if you are a parent, a grandparent, aunt or uncle, please get this book. If you know anyone that you may be able to introduce me to continue my voice on, to anyone with talk shows or any kind of publicity, please give us a call, because the only way that we're going to stop this is through education. That's right. So I can't do it alone. I'm asking for your help. But let's start. I'm excited for the one child. I'm looking for the millions, but I'm excited for the one that's going to say, I just want to say
thank you, because you could have just sat back and said, you know what, I've experienced this, and I'm just going to pray about it and let God handle it. But you said, I'm going to pray about it. I'm going to be obedient to God. I'm going to listen to God, but I'm also going to do the work, because faith without works, we understand, it's dead.
That's right.
So I want to say thank you. Thank you for your bravery. Thank you for your commitment. Thank you for continuing to do this work, because it's tough.
Yes,
it's tough to talk about. It's tough to understand. It's tough to process. It's tough to go back in Sankofa and remember it. It's tough, but you're doing it.
Thank you.
And this is mighty work. This is mighty work. Somebody tell me some very, very hard numbers as we close. If you have 10 people in the room, at least 7 of them were molested.
Yes. Yes.
That's alarming. That's a lot.
It is. It is.
It's a lot.
Yeah. It's like when we talk about things in our community that keep us from greatness, things that cause dysfunction like drugs and alcohol. This is really on that same level.
Oh, for sure.
Because how the heck can you focus on A squared plus B squared equals C squared when you're thinking, oh my God, what happened to me? And what could happen if I go back? And I feel like I can't tell my mama. I feel like I can't tell anybody. I feel like it was my fault. Then this is where you get stuck.
Correct.
So this is what I'm saying, that it's been hard.
Coco said thank you.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, it has been very challenging for me.
Yeah.
But I feel like this is what I was created to do. Who knew that when that happened to me when I was 6 years old, that on the other side, on this side of my life, that I would create a tool to help this not happen to other people. So this is really making lemonade out of lemons. And I'm really glad that God gave this assignment to me. I met my husband on this journey.
Amen.
And I'm
Amen.
excited to see who the next one's going to be. I don't know.
Amen.
We'll see. But anyway,
But listen,
it's all good.
I want to say thank you again. Thank you to all of you all who have tuned in. Please tap in with us. Let me know if you want to be a guest or if you want to recommend somebody. We have the space here to have that conversation about what they bring to the community. This show is built all around community. And final, when you think of community, what does community mean to you?
As you said, our parents had us in the community since we were 6.
Yes.
So the community is everybody.
That's
the community is the whole world. It's just not the south side of Chicago or it's the whole world. The community is when I travel internationally.
Yes.
I'm talking to them about their children.
That's
In
right.
Español,
That's right. Come
mi
on.
libro en español es Auto no toque mi zona peligrosa y aquí es el extraño peligro. And a friend of mine said you need to translate this to African language as
That's
well.
right.
So everybody
It's
is my
happening everywhere.
community. Everybody is our
Diverse
community.
City, Ron Rilla Noise. Listen, TREC, that's TRECC Foundation. I want you to tap in with all of the sponsors here, the Bronzeville Podcast Studio, the Chicago Hip Hop Heritage Museum. Right now, the exhibit is all about women in hip hop. You got to come check it out. Chicago Hip Hop Heritage Museum. The exhibit right now is all about women in hip hop. Of course, yours truly, Sista Afrika. I'm so excited to be the host. Africa Cares /Humble is my nonprofit. Thank you for tapping in with us. We love to see you live with Sista Afrika, Chicago Community Activism Podcast.
Bye.
We are who we've been waiting for. We are we got. We are our own solution. I'm looking, I'm searching. I'm looking, I'm searching. I'm looking for someone to give about me. I'm looking, I'm searching. I'm looking, I'm searching. I'm looking for someone to give about you. I'm looking, I'm searching. I'm looking, I'm searching. I'm looking for someone to give about me. I'm looking, I'm searching. I'm looking, I'm searching. I'm looking for someone to give about you. It's from the love that's in me. I love the love. I am so grateful for the enemy, but yet they still attack me with the envy. They're trying to clog my drain, leave me empty. They say I'm honored every week. I say humbled and grateful not to feel weak. Let the church speak. I'm on the